guys, so firstly I just want to quickly apologize for not posting a video, but it was my 21st birthday last week Wednesday and it was incredible. I went back home to East London for the week and I spent it with my family and my mom and dad, and it was just incredible and it was a great break that I needed. But I'm sorry, but it was necessary. But to apologize, I will be posting 2 videos this week, so I hope I will be forgiven. So today's video is going to be about living alone. I'm a small town girl. I grew up in East London, a very small and intimate town. Moved to the big city of Johannesburg, and when I moved up I didn't have any friends or any family or like that. I was all by myself in a new, not only town, but a new city. Things are a lot different here than they are back home. Living alone has its completely own issues, and now taking that and moving to a big city alone, I mean, it was crazy, but I'm still here and I'm still happy. One of the first things that nobody tells you about how hard it is to when you live alone is cooking. I love cooking, I really do, but cooking for yourself is really difficult because you can never get your portions right, and you think you do and then you make too little, or you think like, oh, I'll make like a little bit extra and then I'll have dinner for like tomorrow night, and you end up having dinner, lunch and breakfast for the next 4 days because you fucked up your portions. You put a lot of time, effort, preparation and love into this beautiful meal, and there's nobody there to appreciate it. You end up sitting there and you're like, this is nice. Like, is it really nice, or you just biased because you just spent the last 2 hours making it? Cooking is shit when you live by yourself. That brings me on to a tip about food for when you live alone. Make sure you eat something before you go grocery shopping to avoid being sad when you have to throw away perfectly good food that just spoiled because you couldn't eat it, and now you have to throw away that money too. So I grew up with my mom being hella OCD. She's the kind of person that if she walks past a rug that has tassels on, she'll stop and she'll fix all the tassels and put all the tassels straight. I think I rebelled a little bit against that. I was never the neatest person or the most tidiest, and I mean, I'm still not. I'm still quite messy. For instance, when I went home now recently back to East London, there's a big table in my room and I put my suitcase underneath the table and it was open and all my clothes were just in this massive avalanche pile just in my suitcase and kind of on the floor, and there was some stuff on the table, and like it was just a mess. And even though it's a mess, I know exactly where everything is. So it's like an organized mess. With that being said, living alone has made me quite OCD. Some things more than other. I mean, I am still somewhat messy in my own place, but I'm a lot better than what I used to be when I lived with my mom and dad. I have also become quite a germaphobe, which, I mean, it's good with the industry I'm working in because then I'm always like clean and everything is sanitized and stuff, but it's a little bit shitty when you have to clean your dustbin. Which leads me on to the lovely topic of cleaning your own place. One thing my mom has always said to me is when you change the dustbin bag, you have to clean the actual dustbin as well. That freaks me out. I do it every time I change the dustbin, but it freaks me out because I have a big one, and when you stick your hand in there, it literally goes like past your shoulder. You're there with your hand in your head and you're just kind of like wiping this thing, hoping that it doesn't touch you anywhere, and I just can't. And just, oh, it's so, no, it's awful. You know what also is really fucking hectic to do is clean the shower. Fuck the shower. Just because you standing in the shower cleaning yourself doesn't mean the shower cleans itself. And like, cleaning the shower is a bitch, let me just tell you that. So I actually have quite a funny story, and it involves one of these things. So I grew up with my mom and dad always putting one of these in the back of the car in the parcel tray. You know, because obviously the sun like heats it up and the aromas and the smell makes your car smell really nice. And I normally buy those big 2-liter fabric softeners. It was one of the weekends I was doing washing and my mom had come up to Joburg to visit me. And I realized, oh shit, I ran out of fabric softener. So I was like, Mom, let's go to the shop quickly, I can get fabric softener. And she was like, Shelby, just use the one in your car. And I was like, I don't have one in my car. She ended up going to my car and getting the one that I had on my parcel tray. I was like, Mom, like, this is for your car. She just kind of looked at me and said, this Honey is a concentrated refill pack. So you pour this into your 2-liter thing and you mix it with water, and there you have fabric softener. Not one of my proudest moments, but it was really funny, and it's still like a good joke. So that's something I didn't know when I started living alone, but I mean, you live and you learn. I can't even tell you the countless times I still will phone my mom or dad and be like, have this in the fridge, it's been in here for a few days, can I eat it? Or can I freeze this kind of food? Is that okay? How do I cook this? You know, I still ask that pretty often. Something else that nobody tells you about living alone is that little area at the back of your fridge. I call it the black hole, because somehow your food and your Tupperware just like levitates towards this little tiny space at the back of your fridge where things just either vanish, go off, or just sit there for fucking months. And you don't see it until you're cleaning out your fridge and you're like, oh, your fridge is empty, and then you see it and you're like, oh fuck, I have food, and you open it up and it's 6 weeks old and you're like, the fuck, Shelby, you're disgusting. Don't judge me, because if you live by yourself, or fuck, even if you live with somebody, this has happened to you. When something decides to basically say to you, get fucked, and leak, and it dribbles down the side of your fridge, and you have to take everything out and clean it because now your fridge stinks. I feel like when you live with your mom and dad, like, your mom has that automatic, I want to say like reminder or alarm in her brain that she knows exactly everything in every Tupperware and how long they've been in that fridge and when to take them out. Because like, you'll go into the fridge one day and you'll see, okay, cool, there's this leftover and that leftover. A few days later, it's all gone, it's clean, it's washed, it's packed away, like, it's sorted. I think one of the coolest things about living by yourself is, you know, it's your own space. You can decorate it any way you want. The most exciting things for me being an adult is going shopping for things for my place. I live in a not pet friendly place, which really sucks, and I really hate it because I love most animals, and I am one of the biggest cat people, and all I want is a cat. Literally, that's all I want. You're not even allowed like a hamster or goldfish or anything like that, so it's super strict. But I kind of found a substitute for that. If you live by yourself or even with somebody else and you can't have an animal and you're wanting that responsibility of having to care for something other than yourself, I would highly recommend getting yourself some plants. Firstly, they make the space so lively that it makes you happy coming home. It's a very weird thing, and I didn't kind of understand the, I think, psychological thing of having plants until I got them, and now I just want more and more and more. Like, you have to water them, and I talk to my plants even. And I know it sounds so strange to say, but they're really intelligent. Plants are intelligent. When you live alone, coming home after a long and tiring day can sometimes be the best thing, because you're tired and you just walk straight to your bed and you just lie on your bed and you just close your eyes and you lie there for a few minutes and you just take everything in the complete silence. It's really comforting sometimes, you know, because then you get up, you go have a shower, you make yourself a cup of tea, you put on a series, and you just have your alone time. You know, you don't have anyone asking you, how was your day, how was this, can you do this, you know, it's peaceful. With that being said, sometimes one of the nicest feelings is coming home and somebody is there and they ask you about your day. You have that comfort of somebody being there for you at the end of the day. And I think especially being a single person, you don't have that comfort of calling your boyfriend and being like, oh babe, come over, I'm making dinner, or, you know, going to his house when you have no electricity, for example. Instead, you have to sit in your car and charge your phone. True story. It can go either way, you know, but I definitely think living by yourself teaches you a lot. One thing that I have learned from living by myself is how to talk on the phone. I used to hate talking on the phone, and since I was a kid, I don't know why, I just didn't like it. Now that I live alone, I can talk on the phone between an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I'm still like, oh, do you have to go? That for me is that sense of comfort. It's somebody there with you, talking to you, and you're just not alone. And with that also being said, another tip I have is having something in the background, whether it's music that's playing or the TV on, is really comforting, because you're sitting there alone if you're working on your laptop or something like that, and you have this background noise so that it's not just you sitting in this place in silence alone. Went through a stage where I wasn't, and then I started again and I could completely tell the difference. I was in a lot happier mood. I was wanting to go out and do stuff, you know. I wasn't just like, oh well, I'm alone again, you know. Like, something living alone as well that I've realized is you have to become really good at security. And what I mean by that is I am so bad at this, and I'm trying so hard to become more actively aware of it. The simplest thing of locking doors. Now, I forget quite often to lock my doors. And when I say doors, I mean my front door and my back door. I have gotten a lot better at it, but I still sometimes forget to lock my front door. And I sleep and I wake up and my door's open and I'm just like, oh shit. I love horror movies, but let me tell you, living alone, watching a horror movie at night, alone, and then switching all the lights off and going to sleep, that is scary. You start hearing all these little sounds and creaks, and you are just lying there and your imagination is going and you're just like, oh my word, what is happening? Living alone definitely does have its difficulties, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's easy and fun all the time and it's a walk in the park, because it is really difficult. It's something that you have to, I personally think, do in your life, because you realize a lot about yourself, because you're forced to be with yourself and talk to yourself and just be comfortable sitting in a room alone with yourself all day long, you know. So I think that in that sense it is fantastic. As long as you still have a good balance of going out and seeing friends and that kind of stuff, you'll be fine. Living alone is not as scary and intimidating as people think. It is one of the most liberating things to have your own place, and it's easy to forget that sometimes, but it really is incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a big thumbs up and comment below, and go follow me on social media as well. Bye guys.